What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the gear in Gotham Knights. Now, this is just a general discussion. I am going to break down the couple seconds, really. It's only a couple seconds of footage that we have on the gear in the gameplay presentation they showed us a few days ago. But I want to start just with my general, assessment, how I feel about it. And it's not, it's not, in my opinion, all that crazy. I'm not a big fan. I'm a very big fan, actually, in how the gear looks. I think it actually visually looks really, really cool. I've gone on record multiple times before and said I really don't care about the looks of the characters in terms of, not just Gotham Knights, by the way, any game. In terms of gear, you can wear different suits. Spider-Man PS4 is the first game that, and this is true, Spider-Man PS4 is the first game that ever got me to care about swapping what you wear. In almost every single game ever, including Batman Arkham Knight, any of those kind of games, I literally would always just have the first suit. Whatever suit they gave me, that was the suit. I never switched it. So, I want you to just keep that in mind. Really, the only reason I tell you that story is just because this is just my opinion. This is just one person looking at it. Gear and how it visually looks and how the specs are, right? The numbers, the levels, all that stuff. That means something different from one person to the next. And I'm just telling you, for me, I really don't care about swapping what they look like all that often. So what I will say, again, visually, I'm really impressed by just the quick couple. I mean, we saw maybe 2 or 3 different suits for each Red Hood and Nightwing, and they all looked really cool. In my basic, understanding of visuals, they looked really cool. But everything else, really, I mean, it's not a surprise, okay? I want to also make that clear. What we saw, all right, the level, the rarity, all that kind of stuff, none of it is a surprise for a game like this, and that's kind of the sad thing. Now, I've been on record saying I don't believe this game really is the Marvel's Avengers equivalent. In fact, and this is just a prediction, if there is any game that's like that, it could be Suicide Squad, all right? Only because of the multiplayer and 4 players, and whereas this game is only you and one other person. You can play this solo, versus Suicide Squad, you can't. If you play it by yourself, the other 3 people in the Suicide Squad are all controlled by AI. So I'm just saying, in terms of which game seems more like it jumps off the page as a Marvel's Avengers, and like the live service kind of elements, which Rocksteady has talked about too here and there, that's the game that stands out. But if there's any moment in this gameplay presentation that looks like it literally was ripped right out of Marvel's Avengers, is this part right here. So you see the blueprints, suit, melee, I can never say it the right way, melee, however you say it, range, and you have the crafting materials, and you can see in the bottom right, it literally says craft suit. So you can make your own suits from there. We'll just talk about it first, and then I'll kind of go over my impressions. Next screen, we see your inventory, which again kind of breaks it down a little bit better. And now you start to see, all right, well, what are you wearing? You have the stock suit for the suit. You have modular cryogenic darts in the range category. And on the right side, you can see power, health, armor, all that stuff. So a lot of numbers, a lot of, I don't even know what you want to call them, specs to what you have. And then when they click on suit, you see all of the other suits. You see momentum ability suit, jump starter suit, team up toxic suit. And you see the toxic suit, not just as the green arrow up, but it's also got like a toxic figure to it. And you can see on the right side, it goes through the rarity, the level, the grade, and you can see power, armor, and health, and just all this kind of stuff. To me, and they do the same thing, by the way, for Red Hood, and that's pretty much what we got for gear. Besides, I guess, there is one other thing. When they're defeating enemies, kind of casually, it's not even like that emphasized in the presentation. When you're defeating enemies, it seems like certain enemies will drop gear, and it'll basically pull it towards you. You don't have to go over there and press triangle to pick up the gear. The gear kind of like sucks itself into you, and you get gear, and that's pretty much it. So in terms of how I feel about it, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all of all the numbers. I am, we made the point to say in that presentation, when you're beating up enemies, the numbers that would shoot out off of them are turned off. Now, I didn't know when I record, you guys had corrected me in the comments. They had said that you can customize the UI. So if you don't want to see the numbers explode off the enemies, which personally I don't for a game like this, it's different for like Borderlands, but for me, for a game like this, I don't want it. So that's customizable. What they showed with the gear, it's not, in my opinion, right? You're going to see all those numbers. So to me, it really just comes down to simplicity. I don't really care all that much. That's my honest answer. When I'm playing the game, I guarantee you I won't care almost at all about the gear. I mean, sure, I will swap gear with the higher gear. I will look for higher rarities. Like, all that stuff will happen, right? I did it for Avengers. I at the time when it first came out, I maxed Iron Man as high as he went in both categories. That's what I did. In order to do that, you need the best gear. You need the best this or that. I mean, I've done it before. I'll do it again. But the thing is, I just don't care. You know what I mean? I really think, and I'm not saying steal from Spider-Man, but if I had to go down a path of convoluted mess and just, you know, having these numbers just to have them, just to kind of force this, I mean, really, you're really forcing RPG elements, but in a way that it doesn't really feel natural, right? Because in RPGs, there are a lot of numbers going on, but this is just outrageous. You know, the Marvel's Avengers did it. This one did it. I'm just not a big fan. If I had to choose a path, I would pick the more simplistic things. Go towards where maybe you don't even do buffs. They don't do anything different. They just look different. I mean, that's about as simplistic as you can go on the other side. Now, maybe that's not the best idea. That's fine. Find somewhere in between. Spider-Man, there is a little bit of depth. I mean, it's not just a visual look of the suit. The suit can actually do different stuff. Each suit has that, right? So it's not... Spider-Man is not the most simplistic suit thing of all time. Again, the most simplistic one would just be, hey, this suit looks different, so put it on and you're going to look different, and it doesn't change anything about you, right? It literally is just what you wear. Again, I really don't care. I really don't care about any of them, but I do think the gear shown here is just that kind of convoluted. Nobody really cares about it. Yeah, you're going to get people that are trying to get the higher rarities. I'm sure that'll be tied to trophies or achievements for Xbox, PlayStation. I'm sure it'll be tied to getting your character as powered up as humanly possible, which again sounds a lot like Avengers, right? So, and while I don't think this is the Marvel's Avengers clone, the gear stuff definitely worries me because of that. I guess the one thing though I want to throw them, you know, in terms of like respect, is they did say no microtransactions. So these are things you're just going to find in the world. Now, again, those also could come up with issues, right? Because how's the balancing? I guess that's the easiest way to put it. How's the balancing with this gear? If you're looking for the best gear humanly possible, how do you get it in this game? What's the drop rate? Do you have to do something very specific? Do you have to do it like 30 times because it only drops 1 out of 30 times and you have to find that one? You know, that stuff can get very annoying very quickly. That stuff can drive people away. And while that stuff may sound like you're increasing how long the game is, the longevity of the game, replayability, oftentimes, especially done wrong, it completely just blows up in your face and people don't put up with it, right? So again, I'm not making any major claims here. I'm just saying I'm not a fan of it. I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to try to find the best gear possible, but it's not a good sign. With that being said, it's also not surprising because I expected this fully. I think a lot of people expected this fully. This is not a shock whatsoever in terms of, you know, seeing it before our eyes. It's just seeing it before our eyes. We get to see, yeah, that kind of looks like a mess. I would have preferred they didn't go that direction. But again, much like I say with all these videos, honestly, I want to be proven wrong. Come out, give me the best game possible, and if I'm wrong and the gear works and it's not annoying and it's not, you know, kind of hard to figure out, or it's not, you know, like it doesn't break the replayability, then I'll say those things. I have no problem taking any of this stuff back if I'm proven wrong. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.